An AI-generated post for your viewing pleasure. Can AI outsmart misinformation? Testing GPT-4 models on misleading visualizations in a world flooded with information. How can we trust what we see? New research reveals that even advanced AI models face significant hurdles in detecting misleading visualizations, raising urgent questions about our digital literacy and the creativity of misinformation. Can AI truly help us see through the lies? Before we get into the details of the study and its findings, let's take a moment to understand why this research is so critical and how it addresses a pressing issue today. Every day, we encounter countless charts and graphs online, presented as facts. But what if I told you that many of those visualizations could be deceiving? A recent study delves into how well AI models can catch these misleading images, specifically through the capabilities of OpenAI's GPT-4 models. In an age where misinformation spreads rapidly, especially on social media, detecting these misleading visualizations isn't just an interesting academic exercise. It's crucial for informed decision-making in critical moments. This research reveals that the ability to discern visual misrepresentation can have profound consequences. For instance, during pandemics or elections, misleading visuals can skew public perception and influence behavior. By studying how AI can assist in detecting such deceptions, we take a major step toward counteracting misinformation and empowering individuals to make informed choices. Now that we've framed the issue at hand, let's get into the details of the research: what methodologies were used, how the experiments were set up, and what kind of results they produced. To navigate through this study, it's essential to understand a few key terms. First, misleading visualizations refers to graphical representations of data that intentionally or unintentionally distort the truth through various techniques, such as cherry-picking data or using truncated axes. Another critical term is prompt engineering, which involves designing inputs to AI models that guide their outputs effectively. In this research, different prompting techniques were applied to see how well the GPT-4 models could identify and respond to visual misrepresentations. The researchers tested 3 versions of GPT-4, 4, 4.0, and 4.0 mini, under varied conditions: naive zero-shot, naive few-shot, guided zero-shot, and guided few-shot setups. Each setup varied the degree of guidance provided to the models, essentially shaping how they interpreted the visual data they were presented. By establishing these clear definitions and experimental settings, the researchers could measure the AI model's ability to analyze and detect misleading graphics accurately. Now that we've set the scene and established our key terms, let's explore the technical contributions of this research. What methodologies were employed and what results were achieved? This study rigorously assesses the performance of several GPT-4 models, namely GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini, in identifying misleading visualizations. Using a carefully curated dataset consisting of tweet visualization pairs, the researchers explored 4 experimental conditions that manipulated the guidance given to these AI models. 1. Zero-shot. Models evaluated without extra guidance. 2. Naive few-shot, providing examples with no guidance. 3. Guided zero-shot, explicit definitions of misleaders given. 4. Guided few-shot, detailed definitions and examples provided. The results showed that performance increased significantly with richer guidance, with the guided zero-shot setup achieving the highest overall performance score, an impressive UC of 0.821. This means that even with minimal directions, these AI models have shown a remarkable ability to detect misleading visual content. Notably, the performance variations based on prompting methods highlight the complexity of designing effective AI for this purpose. Recognizing reasoning misleaders, such as cherry-picking or causal inference, benefited more from examples, whereas design misleaders thrived with clearer definitions. However, it's crucial to consider the limitations of these findings. The paper inadequately addresses contextual understanding and reasoning capabilities. The study reveals a relationship between the type of misleader and the prompting strategy used, indicating that richer guidance improves performance for reasoning misleaders. Yet, this same strategy is less effective for design misleaders, suggesting that a single prompt engineering technique does not yield optimal results across the board. This discrepancy raises concerns about the model's reliability in real-world applications, where contextual cues play a significant role in interpretation. Furthermore, the evaluation metrics employed, particularly the ROC, AUC scores, may not adequately reflect the model's performance. Although the AUC provides a numerical representation of the model's abilities, it can obscure significant performance issues. For instance, even with reported improvements from naive to guided setups, these scores do not capture the qualitative aspects of detection that might affect practical usability. There's a risk of overconfidence in the model's capabilities if we only rely on AUC scores. Moreover, another significant consideration is the ethical dimension of using AI to detect misleading visualizations. The paper does not sufficiently address the potential biases inherent in training datasets or the model's responses. Misinterpretations could compromise the accuracy of detection, ultimately affecting the trustworthiness of AI in combating misinformation. It's essential to ensure that when an AI correctly flags legitimate visualizations as misleading, the consequences don't misinform users or lead to further misinformation. In summary, the findings show promise for AI's capabilities in detecting misleading visualizations, but they spotlight the need for further investigation into the contextual and qualitative dimensions of this challenging task. As we explore the potential for AI-powered tools to fight misinformation, a multifaceted approach is essential, merging advances in AI with educational initiatives to enhance public media literacy. This combined effort could empower individuals to discern misleading visual content, hold AI systems accountable in their roles as guardians of truth. Having discussed the technical findings, it's important to look at the broader impact of these results. How do they stack up against previous research, and what does it mean for misinformation? Let's explore. These findings align with previous research that highlights how misleading visualizations can shape public perceptions and drive behavior, especially in high-stakes situations such as health crises or elections. The study underscored not just the technological capabilities of AI, but also the necessity of prompt engineering, a concept not always emphasized in earlier AI applications. Different misleader types require distinct approaches for effective detection. Reasoning misleaders benefited from detailed examples, whereas design misleaders thrived under clear definitions with less complexity. This differentiation may open new avenues in developing AI tools tailored for specific types of misinformation. Creating stronger connections between cognitive psychology and AI's technical enhancements could allow for better designed systems that not only detect, but also predict visual miscommunication across platforms. The significant improvements observed in detecting reasoning misleaders with guided few-shot setups versus design misleaders with guided zero-shot setups illustrate that cognitive elements behind misinformation detection may vary by type. This raises the possibility that reasoning misleaders might require more contextual and qualitative understanding, whereas design misleaders may be more easily classified within established visual patterns. By exploring these cognitive dimensions further, there may be opportunities to enhance educational strategies aimed at bolstering media literacy, equipping the public with tools to discern various forms of visual misinformation more effectively. Ultimately, the study raises crucial questions for the future of AI in media literacy. Can these models keep up with the relentless creativity of misinformation creators? As we move forward, it's evident that AI alone won't suffice to combat the tidal wave of visual misinformation. What's needed is a multifaceted approach merging advancements in AI with educational initiatives to build a more discerning public. As digital consumers, we need to enhance our visual literacy. The models are improving, but are we? Understanding how to critically evaluate visualizations is essential in this age of information overload. The outcomes of this research provide a stepping stone for future explorations, both in improving AI performance and advancing our society's media literacy. So keep questioning what you see, because in the world of digital visualization, not everything is as it appears. Now, let's wrap this up by summarizing the key points we've discussed and what lies ahead for AI and misinformation detection. The study systematically evaluates the ability of various GPT-4 models, 4V, 4o, and 4o mini, to detect misleading visualizations, revealing that the models can achieve moderate accuracy even without prior training using a naive zero-shot approach. The introduction of prompt engineering techniques, particularly the guided zero-shot and guided few-shot setups, significantly improves the model's performance in identifying both reasoning and design misleaders in visualizations. Among the tested models, GPT-4o exhibited the best overall performance across different misleaders and guidance levels, attaining the highest area under the receiver operating characteristic curve. A score of 0.821 in the guided zero-shot setup. Prompting strategies impacted detection outcomes differently for reasoning versus design misleaders. Guided few-shot setups enhanced recognition of reasoning misleaders, whereas guided zero-shot setups were more effective for design misleaders. The presence of misleaders in tweets tended to be more frequent than previously recorded, as the final test dataset identified 1618 instances across 123 unique tweets, demonstrating the pervasive nature of misleading visualizations on social media platforms. The findings indicate that not all misleaders are equally detectable, with certain types, such as causal inference and cherry-picking, yielding higher AUC scores consistently across various prompt conditions, highlighting their importance for researchers focusing on visual misinformation. The study emphasizes that psychological and cognitive factors influence people's ability to detect misleading visualizations, suggesting automatic detection by AI could complement educational initiatives aimed at enhancing media literacy. A notable challenge identified in the research is the risk of overwhelming the models with complex inputs and guided setups, which may lead to inaccuracies in detection, pointing to a need for refined strategies in model training and evaluation. The paper encourages further investigations comparing different large vision language models, VLMs, beyond the GPT-4 family, which may yield deeper understanding and improve methodologies to combat visual misinformation effectively. The results of this research lay the groundwork for future explorations in enhancing AI models equipped to recognize and mitigate the spread of misleading visualizations, ultimately contributing to better public understanding of critical issues such as health and science during significant societal challenges.